Hi everyone, so welcome to my YouTube channel. And so today I'm going to be talking about my experience on 180 days of semen retention. 6 months essentially without releasing, essentially. So in this video I'm going to talk about how I got started doing 6 months of semen retention, my journey, tips for doing 6 months of semen retention, benefits, and the spirituality aspect of it. So firstly, in terms of how I got started, so I did this in 2023, so last year. And so originally I set myself a challenge of doing 1 year of semen retention. So obviously I stumbled at the 6 month mark. So prior to 2023, I'd already been doing NoFap, but I'd never done it for such a long period of time. I think before that I'd done like 150 days or something. So doing 1 year or 6 months was a new challenge I set myself. And so in terms of my journey, so I got started around spring, so it was about March that time, and I was in Amsterdam at the time, so it was a new city, everything was new, and so it was kind of easy to go out and kind of focus on myself as well. So in terms of this journey, for me particularly, the beginning was probably the easiest part because I was really motivated to do this challenge. I was really excited. I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna improve myself, get fit, work on myself, improve my mind, my brain, etc. So the beginning was definitely the easy part. You have a lot of motivation, a lot of energy to do it. And so the first month is pretty easy. Second month, third month, gradually as the months go on, it's obviously going to get harder because as time goes on, it's harder to control your impulses and your urges essentially. So as the months go on, it does get a bit harder. So the beginning, definitely the easiest part because you're fresh, you're new to it. There's a lot of motivation and energy to do it. So in terms of how I did the 6 months, like it's really super important to keep yourself busy constantly. And I mean like going to work, going to the office, going to the gym, just keeping yourself busy. And essentially, my strategy was trying to essentially exhaust myself each day. So I'd wake up early, cycle, go to the gym, cycle in Amsterdam, everyone cycles. So in the morning, I would cycle, go to work, go into the office, work for the full day. And then at the end, I would hang out with friends. And then usually I would get back quite late, maybe like 10 or 11, and I'll do the same thing again. So get up about 8 and then come back home about 10 to 11. And yeah, that was essentially just use up all my energy so that I would just essentially fall asleep and then do it all again. So it's really important to keep yourself busy. Make sure that you don't have too much excess energy while you're at home as well. So that's another thing. Also, I also did that just keep myself outside the house because it's really super important to not isolate yourself in your own private space, whether that be at home or your bedroom, and try to constantly be in public spaces where you obviously cannot act on your urges or do other stuff because you're in a public space essentially. So by public spaces, I mean literally the office, going to the office every day. During this time I tried to not work from home because it was obviously quite dangerous. So be in public spaces all the time. Yeah, whether that be just going for walks or going for really long cycle rides. I was quite fortunate that I was in Amsterdam at the time, so I was able to kind of go on these long cycles, go to the park, use the outdoor gyms, which was great. And fortunately, I was there during the summer as well, so it was great weather, so I could just go out and not have to think about trying to resist my urges essentially. So that's really important. So number one, keep yourself busy. Go to the gym, hang out with friends, just do a bunch of stuff essentially, whatever interests they may be. And also be in public spaces. So it's really important to, yeah, just be in public spaces. Do not stay at home or stay in your bedroom. Just go in the office, go in parks, go on like a 6 hour cycle ride if you need to, or go on a really long walk around the city just to explore everything. So just be in public spaces all the time. And also another tip is also trying to be more social and outgoing. So at the time, I was in Amsterdam. I was doing a startup program, so I was with a lot of people. I made a lot of friends quite quickly. It was like a program. It was kind of like a boot camp, really, a summer camp where you can meet lots of people and just hang out with them. But I also did other social activities, so it was like running club or salsa, where I could meet a lot of people and just have always have friends that I could keep in, just go out with essentially in Amsterdam. So that was another thing. So three things: keep yourself busy, be in public spaces, and be social. So don't isolate yourself essentially. So those are my three main tips. So in terms of the benefits, there's a whole bunch of benefits for this, for semen retention. Just not releasing essentially has huge benefits. So number one is positive energy. So obviously, as a person who's on semen retention, it's going to be quite a different experience to a lot of men. So you're going to be probably in the 1% of men that actually are able to achieve this challenge. So, in terms of what that does to you, it fills your body up with a lot of positive energy. You become not only more energetic, but you also become a more peaceful person. You're kind of at peace with yourself. You're no longer seeking these highs and coming down to these lows, and kind of it's reflective of your dopamine baseline levels. And because your baseline levels are now at a more normal level, say, I think your brain is more accustomed to that, and essentially you become more peaceful because of that. A next benefit is improved focus. So whilst you're on semen retention, you're kind of a lot more thoughtful and a lot more focused in terms of the activities that you choose to do. So because you have so much time, you're no longer spending that energy on a certain act. Your focus is now a lot more clearer in terms of the task that you want to do. So like every day is almost like a fresh beginning for you. So every day you can find yourself setting certain tasks or goals that you want to do during the day. And because you're no longer depleting yourself or you don't have energy for that, you're far more focused on these tasks that you have during the day. It could be a daily task or a more long-term goal, like a few months out, etc., for example. Next one kind of joins together is you have more time to do what you want, and you're able to find more stuff to do because you have so much more energy and more time on your hands. You're kind of forcing yourself to do other stuff with your time. So rather than staying in your room, in a private room, for example, you're constantly trying to find stuff to do. For me, that was like exercise, running club, going to these outdoor parks, which is great in Amsterdam, and doing these chin ups and pull ups was great. And in terms of me finding stuff to do, I was trying to find new hobbies as well. So that's where I ended up doing salsa as well. So I think I bumped into a friend at running club, and they said they were talking about doing salsa, and I thought, okay, let's try it. And this is something I would never do unless I was on semen retention. Uh, just having the confidence from semen retention, doing something really challenging, gives you the confidence to do stuff like dancing salsa or dancing bachata with a lady, for example. So you have more time to do what you want, and you have more confidence and energy at finding stuff to do as well. So that's one thing. And so, yeah, you might end up finding hobbies that you've never thought you would try because you have just so much time, so much energy for yourself as well. And another benefit is the resetting of your brain. So essentially, when you start from day one to day 180, it's a gradual process. But if you looked at yourself from day one to day 180, you'd find a massive difference in terms of how your brain thinks about stuff and how your brain is now no longer like an animal in that aspect. Because before, you're constantly seeking these highs and trying to resolve your urges by doing a certain act. So now after a certain amount of time, you find your brain just normalizing and you don't feel the need to act on these urges because essentially you know you did it yesterday, so why not do it today? And so every day that you do this, it's really important in resetting your brain, especially if done a lot of you've looked at a lot of adult content in the past, etc. So, lastly, what I want to talk about is the spiritual aspects of this. So, I not only is this about the scientific aspects, about resetting your brain, resetting your dopamine levels, improving your focus. There's actually, to me, there's like almost a spiritual experience of this. I mean, it's almost akin to, I know in a lot of religions, like fasting is a key aspect in a lot of religions. So things such as like Ramadan, etc. And to me, it's about fasting's kind of like abstain. It is abstaining from food in a way. It is abstaining from food, and so to me, semen retention is abstinence of an urge or a certain act. And so to me, it's also a spiritual journey in terms of you have to control your mind and control your urges. And the only way to do that is to find some sort of look for the spirit inside you. And as you abstain more, you kind of connect more with your spirit. And so the more you do it, the stronger and purer your spirit becomes. And so essentially, you do become like a more worldly person and more kinder person in general because your spirit is becoming purer because you're no longer acting on these urges and you're no longer going to that animalistic part of your brain where it says, oh, I must do that, I must do that. You're actually thinking about what your mind is saying in terms of these urges and you're saying, no, actually, I don't need to do that. And due to that, your spirit actually becomes purer and it becomes stronger. And I think a lot of people can see that as well. So I think not only do you view yourself as having a pure spirit, but other people also view you as having a pure spirit, and vice versa as well. You can also one of the sixth sense I talk about in terms of semen retention nofap is that you can actually read energies very well with the people around you. So as soon as you meet someone, like within the first 10 seconds, you can actually read their energy and read their spirit. You can tell if someone is just genuinely nice person, has good intentions, no bad intentions. Vice versa, you can tell if someone's really insecure. So yeah, now when I interact with women, I can tell their intentions, how insecure they are, etc. And so you can read these energies very well, and you can also sense other people's spirits as well. So if someone is good-hearted, you can genuinely tell whether they're good-hearted or not, and vice versa. If you're with certain people that have a negative energy, you can also sense that as well. And that's, as I said, it's kind of a sixth sense that you gain. It's like a superpower that you gain whilst on semen retention or nofap. And so yeah, that comes to the end of this video. So hopefully that's helped a lot in terms of my tips, the journey, the benefits, and spirituality aspect. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. Yeah, thank you.